Hello everyone, I'm Stedeval, and today we continue reading World and Economica. Um, let's load our save. So we stop on these policemen's uh, going in the same cafe as Haru, our main character, and now this is a question if they will catch him or not, or at least it's question in title of the stream. Maybe it will be like a few slides and there is nothing going on with it, but I don't know for now. So let's find out. So mm, let's check backlog a little bit. So yeah. Mm, hey, sorry. Um, we can change settings. It is just a little problem what I'm using scroll wheel. I can unfortunately skip some dialogue, which a little bit not nice, but okay. So, if we call in for reinforcements, sorry, actually, let me drink some water. Um, actually, strange. For some reason, OBS again doing some music, but I didn't hear anything. Mm, okay. Okay. Anyway, let's continue reading. So, if we call in for reinforcements, we're just going to get lauded. Looks like we got no choice. Anyway, our duty is to keep public order. Cracks in public safety begin in the smallest of places. Even if it is just one boy, we can't just let him get away. My heart felt like it might jump right out of my mouth. Now, there was no mistake. They were tipped off by someone and were out looking for me. Lunar cities were nuts about keeping public order. Even in the Red Valley, where suspicious guys wandered the streets, there was not even the faintest trace of any real danger. It was just a degenerate pleasure-seeking town. Everyone knew just how risky committing an act of physical sorry. Everyone knew just how risky committing an act of physical violence was in a place this small. After all, if you were deported by the residential management court, there'd be no question that you'd never be able to come back. The only people exempt from that form of punishment were people who were born on the moon. Even then, if you committed second degree murder or worse, it was not so certain. Of course, I wouldn't be subject to the penal code just because I ran away from home, but the overall zeal for maintaining public order would mean that I'd be sent back home. After that, I'd probably be forced to report to a local facility every day until I became an adult. While that happened, I'd grow further away from the front line of the world, and would eventually be swallowed up by the masses. I fixed my darting eyes on my hands and thought desperately, how should I expect from here? Oh. If I grabbed my PC and ran, the plug would get in the way. Do I unplug the adapter from my PC and then take off running with just the unit? Uh, my identity could be given away by the adapter, but it was still better than being captured. I should I should I stay still right here and wait for them to leave? I'd like to do that, if it's possible, but the officer staring at me seemed like he was about to stand up and shout, "Hey you!" to me at any moment. My cold sweat dripped onto my keyboard. Wait, that woman wouldn't have ratted me out, would she? As I thought of this possibility, I was tortured by desperate rage. But suddenly a shadow appeared on the table. It was that woman. More water? She poured me a refill. I cursed her in my heart, wishing that she wouldn't draw their attention towards me at a time like this, and my lowered face was totally flushed. But a piece of paper with words written on it was attached on the side of the cup. She clunked down on the table. Get ready. I nearly raised my head, but the woman quickly left my table before I could make the mistake. I set my computer to mute and shut it down so that they did not notice that my OS was no longer running. I'll, I'll give up on the adapter. I quietly pulled the cord out of the main unit and confirmed the location of my bug. I already used the money I always kept in my jacket pocket at the cafe, so I'll use what I had in my back pocket. There was a line in an old Earth Mafia movie that I saved at home that said that a $10 bill kept in you clothes was a business card to God. I certainly keep you well. It certainly keep you well prepared. I quietly placed a 10 mul bill by my hand, perked up my ears, and waited for the right timing. The policeman had been staring at me non-stop. He was definitely suspicious of me. Before clang up, the policeman started to get up. Tension up. At that very moment, the tension dong was placed on the counter loudly. Hmm? What's wrong? The cop called out to his partner, who was now halfway out of his seat. Is it the guy behind me? Right after he said this, the woman's voice rang energetically through the room. Thanks for waiting. Here you Techidon. Oh, yeah. The one with his back to me turned his attention back to the food. The other one was looking at me, but because the woman was standing next to his corner seat, he was stuck in his seat and couldn't get out. Now was the moment. The woman looked at me. It was my only chance. I pulled my hat over my face, closed my PC with my head still down, grabbed it, and then shoved it into my bag. The payments on the table. I said this as quietly as possible and left the 10 move bill on the table. Hey, you! Wait! The officer clearly told me to stop, but I just gave him a sideway glance and I walked quickly towards the exit. It was only a distance of 3 steps, but it feels like it. But it sorry, but it felt like forever. The yelling officer attempted to chase after me, but with the woman in his way, he couldn't get out. Yeah! Sorry. The shrill scream came from the woman, who lost her balance after being pushed by the officer. She turned to the other officer, still sitting in his chair, and the piping hot tension looked like it was about to spill. Acting out of natural self-defense, the officer caught the ball in his hands. By that time, I had successfully exited the store. I took off running, as it nothing else in the world mattered. Okay, so we see what he wasn't captured by police. This woman helped him. I'm not sure if we know your name yet. Mm, yeah, I don't remember. I guess not. So let's see what will be with our main character. Mm, okay, let's continue. Where am I? I spoke to myself out loud to make sure that I wasn't in a dream. My throat was dry, taut, so it was hard to speak. I cleared my throat a few times and took a deep breath. I hadn't the foggiest how I got here. After I left that store, I ran for my life towards the narrowest street I could find. I thought the police would be right behind me if I looked back, so I did nothing but run forward, not looking back a single time. After that, I must have found a handy-looking tunnel to to hide in and then fallen asleep inside it. The pain through my body must have been from sleeping in the same position the entire time. Um, and why he fallen asleep? Mm, mm. I mean, for some reason, I was thinking it was still early, or maybe not. I mean, what was in the story? He wake up on uh, internet cafe. He was chased down by police. Um, he look on the city. Then he go to this cafe to eat, and now he ran away from police. Mm, still should be early. I mean, maybe he just retired from running away. Anyway, is this a sewer? In general, any place made out of the moon's unique limestone was a public facility. This place also had a cool round limestone floor, as well as matching walls. Between that and the sound of running water, this place had to be a sewer. Right then I noticed a slight glow around me. Is that from the exit? It seems like I was nearly passed out, and while I had no idea how long I've been asleep, it must be night by now. Hmm. The fact that the lamps were lit made sorry, the fact that the lamps were lit made me certain of it. Slowly and carefully, I began to walk. Suddenly, the road turned into a dead end. I could see the light source on the other side of the wall that I now faced, which I was even taller than me. Hmm. I let out a quick gasp because it looked as though something on the ceiling had moved. But the only thing there was strangely wavering lights and shadows. Like a smug bug attracted to the light, I took my back off and climbed the wall. Then, when I saw what was on the other side of the wall, I let out a much bigger gasp. Hmm. Holy! Before me was a huge, spacious atrium. Hmm. Interesting. I was near the top part of the atrium, and I could see more passages on its opposite and right sides. Hmm. It's a little hard to understand how big of this place. I guess it's big. However, the most amazing part was the waterway passing through the base of the atrium. Clear water flowed through it like gentle rapids, and most of the sound of water must have originated there. The bottom of the reservoir glowed a bluish color. Occasionally, a fish would move, and its shadow on the ceiling would swim as well. I guess at this scene amazed that place like this existed on the moon. I suddenly heard a rustling sound behind me. Hmm, interesting. Why it's glowing? Oh, uh, didn't press anything. Oh, oh, okay, it's mouse wheel up. Hmm. As I turned back in surprise, I forgot that I was balancing on the top of a wall. I mean, immediately lost my balance and fell on my butt. Ow. All of a sudden, I saw a pitch black figure in front of me, rifling through my bag. Oh, hey! Whoa! What are you doing? Not only had my life, wages, and labor gone into that PC, but it also carried the 1 billion mole dream that I knew I was going to make a reality. My body moved before I even had time to think, and I tackled the figure. I threw myself at the shadow, covering its face with my left hand, and I even for its throw with my right. It was a technique that immigrants from Earth taught me when I was growing up in a village full of muscleheads. Um, why I thinking what it will be a girl? Okay, it was an incredibly effective technique, and it had to be. It was used by someone who came from a place where a failed government was replaced by military forces who had seized the UN food supplies to be used as a aid, and will toss it around as it they were feeding animals. Hmm? Hmm. Interesting. It's some specific like country and government, or its entire earth in the bad condition. Hmm. Okay. Because I was looking at the light coming from the waterway, my eyes still weren't used to darkness. The passage was weren't sorry. The passage was narrow, true, so I couldn't miss. Not only that, but my opponent was way weaker than I had thought, tumbling over as soon as connected. So it's probably a woman, or a girl, or maybe a child. Right at the moment, I saw a small plank-like object fall onto the floor. The glowing object looked like it could be some sort of computer terminal. However, I was too busy thinking about punching this idiot who was searching through my bag. At top of the bastard body, who was either not resisting or too surprised to, I kept my grip on their throat and butt my overhead into the tightest fist I could make. Die! I froze my fist still overhead. Hmm. Indeed, it's a girl. Hmm. I'm pretty sure it's a girl from. Yeah, it's a girl from cover of this game. Okay, but who are you? Oh, let's find out. I raised my fist and was about to drop my iron hammer of fury. Ah, ah, I began to speak. Woman? Right then my vision went dark. I only realized that I had been punched in the nose after I was woken up by being shot on the chest into the side wall of the passage. He did me out nowhere. What's wrong with you? The pitch black shadow, or rather, the pitch black woman began to speak. Black hair, black eyes, black clothes, sorry, black skirt, and black shoes. Her ankles peeking out from the hem of her skirt. Sorry, I mean, I'm pretty sure I pronounced it word incorrectly. Or, okay. I mean, I know I pronounced probably a lot of words incorrectly, but let me try at least this easy word. You learn how to pronounce. I mean, after what I began to read, like nose in not in the past sorry, last place to make my English a little bit better. Anyway, also your eyes that seems black. Mm, it's kinda seems red, but anyway. Yeah, let me read it again. Your ankles peeking out from the hem of your skirt were black too, and your stockings were black. Dressed in the black from top to bottom, her white face seems to float in the darkness. She stared at me with her thin black eyes, as if she was starting at a bug. My head was seething both from the shock of being punched and my anger at the outrageous situation. What the hell? You're the one who going through my bag. What's wrong with you? That's not true. What would you do if What would you do if this broke? The girl looked around. When while still sitting, she reached out her arms and grabbed the plank-like device that fell earlier. She brushed away the dirt and began to use it, probably to see if it still worked. But anyway, what kind of mentality would lead someone to verbally attack me after hitting me? This is why I'm hated woman. Okay. I'm just doing this because I was asked to. Why do I have to be subjected to this? She seemed to mutter this to herself. Interesting. And who asked her? I mean, we don't know a lot of characters right now. Like maybe it was woman from cafe ask her to check what Haru is alright, but also she searched his bag. Oh, actually, maybe he bring Okay, can't get so much work. I опять scroll too much. Yeah, maybe he should try to return thing what he left in cafe. Anyway, let's read. Let's just read. Disheveled from the fall, she gathered her long black hair into a bundle of darkness in one hand and straightened it neatly in an instant. It looked like a cable harness. Found him. Hurry up and get here. I'm in the side package of the top level. Still seated, the girl began to talk. That thing might also work as communication device. Who in the world is she? Was she searching for me, or was she interested in what I was carrying? If that were the case, then I wouldn't hold back. Thankfully, I was in the dark, deserted and hard to see place. I might have lost a fight just now, but if I went at her with all my strength, I knew I could win. Maybe I should take some naked picture of her and post them online once I was done. Okay. I mean, I feel we already know what our main character not really a good guy. But okay. With that in mind, her arrogant attitude and expression might come in handy. Right as I went to move my back off the wall, I heard a voice. I hear you. Wait 1 minute. The floors get complicated around here. Sorry, around there. As soon as I heard the voice, I let the dark urge in my chest disappear. I had heard that voice before. It was the voice of the woman from Chinese restaurant who allowed me to escape. Okay, so I was right. Hurry up, Lisa. The girl spoke purely into the terminal. I feel like I'm losing brain cells just being around this guy. I was dumbfounded for a moment and then glared at the girl. Huh? The girl glanced at me, then quickly turned away. She acted as if she has heard a stray dog barking outside her window. She was clearly acting in the internal intolerable way that only women can, making it seem as through no insult or abuse Scarlet her way could possibly affect her. Why, while I was at the time to get really angry when something I say is ignored, I was not even enough of an adult to suppress my irritation. I kept glaring at her, not caring how lame I might be looking. Still glaring at her, I pulled my back towards me and made sure that nothing had been taken out. Nothing seems wrong. Only there seems to be something like a piece of dried macaroni at the bottom of my bag. It was partially metallic and a small green right-sized light was flickering on and off. Around the time was I figured out that was a homing device much like one you'd be used on a pet dog. I heard footsteps from the other side of the passage. The woman who appeared shortly after was unmistakably the one from Chinese restaurant. While she was irritating, she also saved me. Okay, because these situations are still kinda suspicious. But let's continue. So this was Lisa. Phew, finally found you. I told you, reception is better around here. The girl in black replied. But I found you. It took a little while, though. The woman wiped her forehead, which made her finally realize that her hair was in a mess. I'm amazed that you got all the way to a place like this. Were you here the whole time? While the woman talked, she took the flood device from the sitting girl. After inputting a few commands, the macaroni-shaped light in my hands stopped stopped blinking and turned yellow. Is this a tracking device? I mean, yay. I mean, it's kinda strange why she put tracking device on him. I mean, I guess they gonna explain it. Not answering the woman's question, I asked one back. Yep, I put it there when you were bending over to plug your adapter in. You were busy being charmed by my legs, so it was easy to do. Okay, so she do it before policeman. I wasn't charmed by anything. I shot back. This only caused the seated black-clad girl to shoot me at this painful look over her shoulder. Well, I apologize for putting a homing device in your bag, without asking. For no matter what reason, it isn't a nice thing to have happen to you. Your easily offered apology left me no room to complain. I mean... Okay. Only there was no way that someone who put a tracking device in someone else's bag could be an upstanding person. Considering this, I started to feel like your saving me at the restaurant might have been doing some ulterior motive. In any case, I was on the back corner of a deserted sewer. What I had just thought of doing in my rage to the annoying girl in black might now be done to me. You see, geniuses and rich were gathered in the lunar cities, and most of them could be called extremely talented. However, they often said that the line between brilliance and madness was paper thin. There was no shortage of stories along the lines of mad scientists performing unspeakable experiments on a nightly basis, or of wealthy perverts coming secret acts one after the hour. I looked up the woman, the shocking reflection from the water dimly reflected upon her face, and grabbed my bag with one hand. I was careful enough to spread my money across different pockets, so of course I carried at least a small weapon. But regardless of gender, the woman o- sorry, the woman over there was taller than me. Gravity was weak on the moon, so if you thought about its simple action reaction, there wasn't much difference here between a man and woman punches and kicks. In that case, it came down to either wrestling or stiffening your body in one place and slamming it into your opponent while conserving as much physical energy as possible. That was where the length of your limbs made a difference. Not only that, there was something right next to me who most certainly wasn't on my side. I recalled the atrium I had just looked into. With my leg strength, couldn't I jump over the wall and the way over to the other side? Or if I made sure to land in the water, wouldn't I be okay? While my mind was whirling through the possibilities, I gulped and said the following. Why are you doing this? Was you saving me a trap? I wasn't sure if I should say that much, but before I could make a decision, the woman spoke first. The woman smiled as if she was stumped and bent her head to the side. She then continued. For fun? My back stiffened with a shudder. I had the feeling that I was going to be killed. You've got to be kidding me. I still had dreams, and I just barely got into the starting line. I stood up and suddenly put all my strength into my thighs muscles. She spoke right as my body began to fly up. But I mean, you wouldn't want to get falsely arrested, right? Unable to drain all the strength in my thighs, my body floated as I hopped lightly backwards. With a slow, gentle trajectory, my back tapped against the wall. Wait, wrongly arrest? That's right. Whose two officers were chasing after a boy, age 15 to 17, height around 160 centimeters, slender, black hair, black eyes, Asian features, wearing a black backpack. But isn't that him? The girl in black replied to this description. That's what I thought too. But after talking to them some more, I realized that was someone else. I was slightly confused. When did I get asked that? That woman had known for a long time what I was a runaway. I'd been going in and out of that restaurant for a while, and I had met her a number of times. Running away from home as a minor was technically against the law. While it was not something you'd be punished for, it was assumed that public order would be deteriorated by jobless, penniless minors wandering the streets, and so they cracked down on. That's why the woman's words didn't make sense to me. Confused and with my back still against the wall, I heard the woman let out a small sigh and continued to talk. Those two officers weren't looking for just some runaway kid. They were after a thief. Thief? That's right. But well, considering his MO and the circumstances, I couldn't see how someone like you could be a suspect. Hearing this, I was reminded of how persistent the woman was when it came to the most random things. And that's why you wouldn't stop asking me whether or not I had lunch. Exactly. The other day someone stiffed a nearby restaurant on the bill. According to eyewitnesses, the suspect looked just like you, as usual. But well, I didn't think that someone who would order ayu jelly with a carefree, satisfied expression on his face right after gobbling up a crab fried rice would be do something like that, you know? The woman giggled as she said this. Slightly miffed, I glared back at her. I wouldn't do something dirty like that over something like 10 moles. Of course not. I checked this serial too. Oh, and I made sure to hold onto your change and your adapter. That made me feel a little relieved. The adapter was especially important. If you were smart enough, you could do just about anything with an electric appliance. Some most purchases required strong personal identification. If my adapter were to get returned, the police has lost article. Let's figure out my identity in a snap. I heard that on Earth, even a child could anonymously buy parts that could easily be made into cutting-edge missile. Now, that was a scary place. So, well, what was going on? You should come back to my place. I honestly could not understand what she was saying. What? Are you thinking of going back to that cafe? I asked Sir out, and he said that four stern-looking guys are taking turns patrolling the place. It was not a result, but was hard to predict. Only if that sorry. Only if that's the case, then I'd be back to sleeping on the hard ground of some deserted area. To be honest, doing that took a big toll on my body. Not being able to get a calm night's sleep was the worst part about this police patrol. As far as getting sleep, the Big Bull Cafe had a roof and running water, and if you said that you wanted to pay the premium fee, you'd get the scene. You get the sense of security, but came with knowing that you'd be alerted for if something dangerous started to go down. The question was never or not that's a reason to just jump on an invitation from some suspicious woman who put tracking devices in people's bags for fun. I mean, there's also good question why she has the tracking device in first place. I mean, how many people has randomly tracking devices in their possession? Anyway, even in stock trading, a too good to be true balance sheet was something used to prime the pump right before a huge crash. I understand why you might be suspicious, but I just told you, right? It's like a hobby for me. The woman told me this as I remained doubtful. So, your hobby is collect runaway childs? Is she also runaway? Okay. Okay. Bringing runaway like me into your home was your hobby? She either a pervert with some bizarre hobbies, or could it be my charm? I think I basically know what you're thinking, but... The woman then laughed in amazement. Unfortunately for you, boys younger than me aren't my thing, unless they're holding giant blood-soaked scissors. What? Is it some sort of is it some sort of reference or something? Anyway. Well, then what? What are you after? Is it money? As soon as I said these words, the smile disappeared from the woman's eyes. Did she get mad just from that? While I had the feeling that I had already said a lot of other things that should have made her angry, I was still surprised at the sudden change. Watching my face, the woman must have realized the change in her own expression. Oh well, I'm sorry. She spoke in a forced tone, then rubbed the area around her eyes, gently with both hands. This completely disarmed and confused me. Not only that, I was faced with the grim reality of not having any place to go. The woman in front of me allowed me to escape from the restaurant, so in that sense I owed her a lot. And then conclude that aside from the part about being a runaway, I did consider myself a decent human being, so I should probably reply with something like this. If I do end up being a burden on you, I won't be able to pay much, you know? While I had realized that she wasn't especially interested in my money, I still had enough decency to feel bad about not paying someone who took care of me. That's why I said, that's why I said that I said, but would she understand? Um, I mean, kinda actually has money. Hmm. I mean, it probably makes sense what he don't want to waste money what he collects for his dreams. Hmm. As I keep staring at the woman, she finally grinned and nodded. Of course, I'll take a little for food and our costs, but it shouldn't still be a lot better than wandering around outside. Oh, and the woman continued. After all, I took care of Cyril too. Huh? Nothing you should worry about. So what will you do? Hmm. There was nothing else I could do. There was only one way I could answer. Thanks. Hmm? You should be more honest and just say what from the beginning. The woman continued to smile, and she said that, but I told her in my head to be more reasonable. Okay then, let's go back. If it gets much later, I won't have a good excuse to give to the police. Hearing the word police, I nodded, once again recognizing the pre- precarious. Uh, actually, don't know this word. Okay. Hmm, Actually, no. I just. Okay. Precarious situation I was in. However, while both the woman and I tried to set off, there was someone who wouldn't butcher an inch. It was the girl dressed in black. While I wasn't sure if she was listening to my conversation with the woman or not, she had she had an absent-minded look on her face. "What are you doing?" The woman asked. It was a very pertinent question. The girl, still not answering, turned her head and started my way. Your utterly conceited expression immediately reminded me of the irritating argument I just had with her. What? I said this to her with a voice full of anger. I knew that my remark would be ignored or snubbed, but she was being so upsetting that it came just out that way. As I expected, the girl then turned away smoothly, with all the annoying elegance of some sort of princess. Hagana, you're not trying to throw tantrum like some child, are you? Okay, so now we know her name. Hmm. The woman used the name Hagana to refer to the girl. Still smoothly turned away, the girl called Hagana gave no reply. With this, I was roughly able to guess what was going on. The woman inviting me to her house most likely meant that I would be living under the same roof as this obnoxious girl named Hagana. Naturally, I was upset that I'd been openly rejected by her, but taking a step back, I suppose I could understand how Hagana felt. This put me at a bit of a loss. Should I get angry or should I respond like an adult? Only this wasn't the time to or place to dawdle. As was as I was about to say what I didn't mind Evan's living in the garden, she spoke first. I can't stand up. Hmm? What? Hagan looked up at the woman who replied to her and continued. I can't put any strength into my hips, and because he tackled me. Hagan looked at me as she said this. Hmm. The woman looked at me. Strange. You tackled her? Really? I vaguely recalled something like this happening in kindergarten or elementary school. Teachers so tackled someone or another. But I was not one to use violence without a reason. If the girl in black looked over in response to a sound and saw someone searching through her own bag, wouldn't she have done the same thing? Right as I went to say this, I passed with the fact that I tackled a delicate girl and began to realize that I had done something that was hard to make an excuse for. Hmm. Ah, women were such unfair creatures. I cursed the black-clad and white-skinned Hagana as a screwed taxation. I guess so. Wait, no, but well, I can imagine the situation. In that case, in a fight, both parties are to blame. The woman said this, then pointed at Hagana. Hagana looked at the tip of the finger as if it were covered in some kind of sweet syrup. If you can't walk, then have him carry you on his back. The woman points her finger towards me. Still attracted by the finger, Hagana's gaze shifted to me. Wait, how is that punishment for the both of us? That doesn't make sense. While I protest, the woman raised her eyebrows even so slightly, as if to insist that I listen to her. This was blatant favoritism, I thought. After all, the person that she's saying has to be carried must also... I began to think, then realized. In a fight both parties were to blame. Okay, hurry up, if you understand. This wasn't just any ordinary woman. Hagana also made a face as though she had come to some sort of realization, then nodded. I sighed, put my back on my front side and walked up towards Hagana. She was sitting down, so her face was in somewhat erotic position. Hagana hadn't made particularly expression face to begin with. I stared up at me motionlessly. Sadistic desires began to well up in me, thinking that I'd feel a lot better if I slapped the side of her face as hard as I could. However, I felt as to if I dwell on this thought for too long, I might actually slap her, so I quickly crouched down and turned my back to her. Okay. I wasn't sure how long it'd take, but living under the same roof as her seemed like it'd be a pain, at least until the friction between us settled down. I should avoid any potential points of conflict. Come on, Hagana. Turns your arms, that's right. I tried to give Hagana, who seems to be telling the truth about not being able to stand, a hand in climbing on my back. Hagana's thin arms wrapped around my neck and then stiffened awkwardly. Actually, it seems like this girl had never climbed on someone's back. Hagana, you're not going to be dangling from his neck. You're getting on his back. The woman explained, and after a bit of silence, Hagana shifted her body onto my back. Finally, two small but soft objects touched my back, as I was responding for carrying her. I wrapped my hands around the bottom of Hagana's thighs. I was filled with a strange thought. So this is what legs is talking felt like. Shit, it's not bad. Okay, stand. Another part of me nearly rose as well, but with a quick start, I put my strength into my two legs. I hadn't been skipping my resistance training, so I could pretty easily carry up to around 5 times my weight. One slender girl was practically nothing to me. Oh, you're stronger than I thought. The price did not feel too bad. Alright, then let's go. The woman began to walk. I tried to follow behind her, but Hagana stopped me. Wait. The woman turned back, and we both looked at Hagana's face. Hers was right next to mine. Suddenly I smelled something sweet and food-like for a moment. What is it? As the woman replied, Hagana raised her Had a little while still on my back and replied quietly. He really stinks. The moon looked blankly at Hagana, then at me. A strange cheerful smile began to appear on her face. In a fight, both parties in a fight, both parties are to blame. I'm going to make your bone down to me one day. At that moment I added another item to my list of ambitions. Okay. Mm, okay. Sorry, but let's stop here. I need to go. So mhm. So yeah, we finished for now. And next uh stream when we will read this novel will be um, at Tuesday. Um, but before that, goodbye. Have a nice time of the day.